Her Wicked Longing. The League of Rogues, Book 5. Written by Lauren Smith. Narrated by Tracy Marks. His Wicked Maid. Chapter 1. Gillian Beaumont knew the day was bound to be full of trouble. As she worked to tame the curls of her mistress's hair, she fretted over the wicked gleam in Audrey Sheridan's eyes. Gillian was used to this mischievous glint, but today it seemed doubly intense, and the way her lips curled at the ends in a little smile added to Gillian's worry even more. The last time she had looked that way, Audrey had been chasing a rogue around a sofa, demanding to be kissed. "There you are, my lady." Gillian finished putting the last pin in her mistress's hair. Audrey's brown eyes twinkled as she met Gillian's gaze in the mirror. "Perfect. I have to look my best today. The League is coming over for tea in an hour, and—" A delicate blush bloomed in her cheeks. "And Mr. St. Laurent will be there?" I suppose so," Audrey replied vaguely. Gillian was all too aware of how her mistress felt about that particular gentleman. He was a fine man, with green eyes, and hair the colour of sun-kissed blonde hair. Gillian supposed he was attractive, but he never made her feel the way she'd heard women ought to feel around a man they fancied. Gillian glanced at her own face in the mirror as she tidied up the vanity. Perhaps she was different from other ladies. She placed the ivory-handled brushes next to a set of exquisite tortoiseshell combs. Unlike Audrey's dark chestnut hair, Gillian's hair was an unremarkable brown, and her eyes a soft, heather grey. She'd never stood out as a beauty, but she wasn't unattractive either. She was, in short, the perfect sort of plain woman who worked best as a lady's maid or a companion. As the bastard daughter of an earl, Gillian had been taught not to expect much of her circumstances, though her father had provided enough for her and her mother. They had lived comfortable, if unassuming lives, in a little townhouse near Mayfair. When she was 15, her father died, and she'd been forced into service to support her ailing mother. She'd had no real experience as a companion, but she'd heard from a friend of her mother's that Viscount Sheridan was searching for a lady's maid for his youngest sister, someone close to her in age. It was unusual to have a lady's maid so young, but Audrey had insisted her maid be close in age. And that was how Gillian, almost 16 by then, had become Audrey's maid and loyal, protective shadow. A year later, Gillian's mother had passed away. Now Mamma is gone, and I'm all alone.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?